EnterTalk Radio, you're in to all things music.
Welcome to Sharpen the Axe. Explore the bleeding edge of guitar and bass gear. Discover a sound uniquely your own and cut through the noise. With your hosts, Eric Lucero and Paul Berezetsky.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Eric Lucero
and Paul Berezetsky
of Sharpen the Axe on EnterTalk Radio, powered by Pitbull Audio. How are you doing, man?
Pretty good. How was your fourth?
It was good, just pretty mellow. I actually worked the first half of it and then just kind of bar hot the second half. How was yours?
Pretty good. I had a bunch of gigs this weekend.
Yeah, that's right. Tell me about your gigs. How were they?
It was pretty good. There's a cover band called Toga Party. They're playing all around town. I just started playing with them, and they kind of threw me right into the deep end. Like three gigs in a row, 3 nights in a row with like a bunch of songs that I was trying to hang in there. It was really fun. So it was nice to have a day off and just kind of unwind. But watch the fireworks. Now I keep hearing about how pets are like terrified of fireworks and how shelters fill up like it's the busiest day. Like now I can't enjoy it without thinking about pets getting scared.
Yeah, it's nothing new, but now it's getting publicized more, which is kind of nice. I mean, and now there's
silent fireworks now. I heard.
Oh, that's what? That's a new one on me. Silent fireworks?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, now I have something to Google tonight. That's going to be rad.
I don't think that's as fun for people, I'm sure. Feeling bad for pets aside, I really like, feeling that, like, pressure of the explosion. It's pretty rad.
Yeah, I mean, there's something to be said, especially when you're underneath a big, the big ending of a good fireworks show. But I know they even sell like kind of padded jackets for pets to put on for 4th of July or for other loud events where they don't really feel the pressure from it.
Is that what freaks them out more than the sound? Is it
a combination of both? I'm sure. Yeah. I mean, I have 3 dogs, and luckily they live, where there's no fireworks or anything nearby. But yeah, it's a thought on those around that time of year.
Hearing too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they hear beyond what we can.
Yeah.
But what our hearing and our limitations, we got
nice segue.
Back to what we use our ears for. We had a pretty cool show last time where I brought a bunch of phasers, Vibe and Rotary and Univibe stuff that was all kind of around $150 or around $100 up to $149.99.
Yep.
So for this week, instead of focusing last time on one particular type of effect, I decided to just put together a pair of little four pedal, just kind of quick fly rigs. Mm-hmm. And they're both similar, but yet kind of different. For this first one, I put together something that you could get conventional with or get weird with. And combining 4 of my favorites on the budget-friendly side. Oh, hell yeah. Every time. Always get weird. If you can't get weird, get swifty. Get all of the above.
Always making things weird.
I have a true talent for that. We got the Mooer Black Secret to start with, which is a distortion. It is basically a Pro Coat Rat, a little compact one. You got a filter control like on the classic Rat. Your output level, your distortion there, and you can switch between a vintage or turbo, which would be the Turbo Rat pretty much. It's a really rad distortion and easy go-to for that classic sound. The Wally Looper from, we haven't figured out if it's Hotone or Hotone. Yeah, it's even at Pitbull Audio, we still wonder which one it is, but the Wally Looper is a super easy to use, compact looper. This one's mine. I use it when I'm just trying to find new settings on pedals and just keep a loop going, which I'll demonstrate when we get through these. But easy to use.
I think I figured it out. It's Hotone.
It's Hotone?
Hotone.
Yes. Totally Hotone. Not Hot One, a Hotone.
Hotone.
Next in line after the Hotone is the classic Boss phase shifter, the PH3 in this case. The first phaser I ever tried was one of these, and it has the step feature, which is my favorite on there, but it's got a whole bunch of other cool flavors on there. And last in line here is a criminally underrated delay pedal, an analog delay, the Ibanez Echo Shifter ES2. This is one of the coolest designs, and I've gone through 3 of these, just abusing the hell out of them, but there's so much cool possibilities.
Why do you say underrated? Like, just it's not notorious enough as far as...
It's...
or do people actually, like, talk crap about it?
I've never really heard too many people talk crap about it. I think a lot of people just don't know about it. 'Cause it's made by Ibanez, and you think of their guitars and basses first. When you think of effects, you go, okay, a tube screamer. Classic.
Right here.
Yep, there we go. Yeah, and a nice Artcore, a rad funk machine for you that you've upgraded and modified. With what kind of pickups in there? GFS?
Yeah, these are GFS humbucker sized P90s.
Nice, yeah. And that is a rad semi-hollow there. Yeah, but it's when you do think of an effect from Ibanez, think of the Tube Screamer or maybe some of their other iterations of stuff through the 80s. But I forgot when they put this out. But you can just do so many cool things with it. It's just a different take on a cool analog delay sound with a different control format here.
Very cool looking pedal too.
Right.
Like a Moog synthy kind of vibe to it.
Yeah, it does kind of have that Moog feel with the wood sides.
Yeah, it's got the wood sides.
Painted a nice black, and the fader in the middle, and some really old school looking control knobs and buttons. But yeah, this thing is awesome. I need to get one more, actually, now that I think about it.
It reminds me of, I used to have a Juno 6 keyboard.
Oh, yeah, Roland, yeah.
Roland, yeah.
Although the Mogerfogers, the big pedals do have the wood sides like this, too. But yeah, the Junos did have those side paneling as well.
Yeah.
So do you have any previous experience with any of these pedals before?
Just this one for a little bit. Tino, who was I was in a band with, he used it for bass for a little while. I don't think he just, I don't know, kind of, you go through the kind of stage where you just build up a bunch of pedals, and then you realize that in live events you don't really end up using it. And he got rid of it, and I don't remember if I maybe used it from him for a while, and I remember using it. I was digging it. I don't remember why, but either he sold it or I settled on my. I have a small stone
electroharmonics
small stone phaser, which I really really like. I think I must have. I think I A and B'd them, and this one has kind of way more features because the small stone is very very basic. It's got essentially one knob.
Yeah,
and a little
I think it's just
toggle.
rate and color. Yeah, that's
rate
it.
And color.
Yeah,
but the tone of it I really like because it's got that really kind of 70s like trippy Pink Floyd-y sort of sound that I just really like, so I kind of went with that one. But I think this one has a lot more possibilities and colors, and it's got that trippy step kind of thing that you really dig.
Yeah, which I was showing him beforehand. That's first time I turned on a phaser, it was one of these. Even though I knew the sound playing through one, and the guy that I had borrowed it from had it on step, so it was just fell in love with that one immediately. I don't have any phasers on my board at the minute, but every time I do, this is still the first one I think of, every time.
Yeah.
Now,
is this the first time we had a Boss pedal up here?
Maybe, I think so, yeah. We went something like 20, 22, 23 episodes.
This is our first time.
No Boss that I can recall. Maybe there's been one. But yeah, that actually says something.
It's not a knock against Boss at all.
Yeah, at all.
I would say just the opposite. Boss is like so ubiquitous and just the go-to. I have probably four of them on my board. They're just, you kind of don't think of them. You take them for granted. But
yeah, it's kind of true. And I've had a RV3 on my board for I think possibly over 11 years now.
Wow.
Yeah, a long time, and only recently did it start to fail and falter and needs replacing now. But I mean, that says something. Yeah, I think I started playing at 10, and I think I bought that at like 12, 13, so yeah, 14 years.
Nice. I used to have one and I sold it, and then I regretted it.
Nope, that is, wow, I am bad at math. 17 years, like 17 or so years of service. So yeah, that says something to Boss. You guys build freaking tanks.
You're watching Sharpen Your Math Skills on EnterTalk Radio.
I am awful at math. Well,
no worries.
So let's real quick, because I put these together for budget. The Mooer Black Secret is $88. The Hotone Wally is $89.99. The Boss is $129.99, and the ES2 is $149.99. So at Pitbull Audio. So for these 4 pedals right here, $456.98, and this, as you're going to see, a pretty awesome and effective pedal board. So I'm playing my Electrical Guitar Company Series 1 with P90s. You also have P90s in yours.
P90s.
So let's give it a shot. Actually, I'll go to bridge pickup. Yeah, we got it in vintage mode. Turbo and with the little mini toggle down. So how about you play? I want to show what the filter can do. We'll do mid-level distortion, but this is all the way opened up. Yeah, right, and
just keep singing.
See, that's the one of the best parts about a semi-hollow design is all that sustain and sounds wonderful.
Except when you're got your amp cranked all the way up trying to play something heavy and like go next to your amp to dial it up and start squealing.
Yeah, it can be tough to manage, and if you're on a small cramped stage,
Which
like yeah, it could be a bit of a pain. But yeah, I mean,
but definitely that sustain is a good payoff.
Yeah, absolutely, and I mean, it's a classic sounds. I mean, the Proco Rat has been around since what, like the 70s, I think, end of the 70s. It's a great go-to distortion, and for $88, I mean, how can you argue with it?
Sounding pedal.
You can get some of that sort of, very soaked sort of desert rock sort of sound. It's definitely a very cool sound. Now, let's hop over, before we get into the looper, let's check out the PH3 phase shifter. So on here we got 4, 8, 10, and 12. Oh my God! Wow, I just blanked out. Stage, yeah. 4, 8, 10, and 12 stage phase shifting, a fall setting, the rise, and the step. So let's set the. Oh, it's also got controls for rate, depth, and resonance, and I thought this was cool. They have an expression in for controlling the rate now.
Oh, nice.
So let's do a slow rate, mid-level depth, mid-level resonance, and how about you play and we'll check it out. That's your dry tone there. This is 8 stage. Now 10. Now 12. Now rise. Now fall. Now, for this next one, for step, I'm going to crank up the depth so it's really exaggerated and a little bit of the resonance. Yeah.
Nice.
So, yeah, that I've always loved phasers. I never found too much use for them in my own playing. Usually, I've kind of drifted back towards them in the past couple of years, but just that alone for me is worth it. On the PH3 here is that phase shifting, and I love that it has that expression jack now. Which, all apologies to Paul Shedden, I forgot to bring the Mission Engineering EP1 expression pedal, which is a awesome utility device that are available at Pipple Audio as well to control parameters and the speed in this case. But any in particular stand out for you?
Well, definitely that step one is very trippy. As far as the functionality, like I use it a lot. Not this one, the small stone. I more for like funky, like disco 70s stuff. It just gives it like.
There we go.
It just gives it a flavor that, like, right away. Like if it's something from the 70s, it gives you kind of that vibe and takes you back. So I like to do it for that. Not even to trip you out, just to kind of just give it some color.
And it's actually quite a popular thing, and especially a slow, very in-depth phaser is kind of popular with some of that metal crowd. But especially with that Van Halen crowd, I mean, Van Halen used a Phase 90 quite famously, but a lot of the big drawn-out, like, stoner and doom bands it's not uncommon to hear some phase shifting or flanging on some of the lead lines, which adds a cool atmosphere to it for sure.
What I like to do sometimes on stage too is throw together the phaser and a chorus, because the phaser will thin things out a lot.
Yeah.
Sometimes, and the chorus will fatten it up, and I kind of run them together.
Yeah, that's a great approach right there to fatten up the sound again without having to throw an EQ or something in to raise the bass or mids.
Yep.
But it's definitely a very cool option. So you can get funky with a phase, you can get heavy. It's got plenty of applications, and there's so much coolness available with it. Now, to go cover the next one before we jump back to the little looper here, the criminally underrated echo shifter from Ibanez. So this is an analog delay. It's got controls for feedback, mix, a on and off toggle for the modulation with a modulation depth control. It's got an on and off for oscillation mode, tap tempo, and FX. Or this is the bypass, not the effects, but the engage bypass. Again, for $149.99, this is such a cool option. So Real quick. So you hear the each little repeat degrades like a normal analog delay. So what's kind of cool is you see right here you have a control for the delay time. That is on a fader like you'd find on a mixer. You can do tap tempo, of course. So
And that fader setup kind of looks nifty enough where you could probably, move it with your foot.
well, that's actually how I went through 3 of these.
Because you keep kicking these little guys?
No, because I kept messing with this so much, I ended up breaking it off, and then, or I didn't land on it if I was kind of going back up to my board and end up kind of slamming the middle part
Never
here
mind,
in.
Don't listen to me then.
But,
I have the same destructive tendencies.
Yeah. I went through 2 of them like that, and then the last one was lost in a flood in my garage. But
wow.
I can't remember his name off the top of my head, and I apologize to it, but the bassist from Terra Melos uses one of these extensively, and he's gone through the same problems I experienced. He messes with this so much that he broke it. Mm. But again, it's part of this cool design that it has. But so you can kind of hear it in the back. See if I add more repeats. I really got to max out the repeats.
With this or with the tap?
Yeah, so even say I do this again. Well, you tapped into what I was going to jump into on accident, but that's no sorry at all. It's all good. It's let's turn that off for a second. But yeah, what's kind of cool is the oscillation. You have the repeats up on feedback like I did. You can get into some cool manual oscillation with that. So. And then it comes back.
Nice. Wow.
And then, nope, didn't come back. Well, that's fine because we can turn on the oscillation, which creates an infinite little feedback loop. And bend time and space.
Nice. So it's kind of an infinite loop, but it decays over time, so it's not going to go on top of your signal.
And what's cool is I noticed with this, you can kind of control it with the feedback a little. So if I dial it all the way back, it disappears and get your sound back, but you dial that feedback back in, whatever you're playing, or at least some sort of space far-flung thing comes back. But while we still have time, we'll go back into the Wally, which has controls for tempo, which has an indentation for the middle there, record level, and back here is the output level. What's cool with this one is you can go half time or double time, which will also bend it an octave up or down. Now, we just hit it once to start it recording, twice where it'll turn green, and then it'll just play back, and then you can overdub from there on. But how about if I play and then you trigger it to record, and then I'll show you why I liked this setup and what I can do with it.
So
We'll turn the distortion on.
Twice.
Just once to start recording, so.
And twice to stop?
Just a second time once, just to stop it.
Are you gonna let me know when?
Yeah.
Or just count it.
1, 2, 3, 4. So you can also bend space and time, sort of, with this. Back to what we recorded, the normal tempo, and then...
So it's doing the tempo and the pitch when you go up and down?
Yep, and that's an octave below, so I can still play with it. But what I like to do, so we hit it twice to get it to stop, just to play. But one of the things
is it looping the effect while the effect is on, or
whatever's going into it. So if I had done it clean without this on, it would have been clean.
Right.
But since I did it with the distortion,
so it recorded the distortion, right?
Yep. But the reason I put it second in here is so I can get the distortion, play, and then I can manipulate things from here after.
So it records whatever is before it in the chain.
Yeah. That's how all loopers work. Whatever goes in goes out, but you can manipulate things from the afterwards. So.
It's alive. That's a mad scientist right there. That's what one looks like. He can use help, but he doesn't need it.
Not at all.
We're just about out of time for this segment. So stay tuned, guys. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes. We got 4 more pedals coming up.
4 more, yep.
Pedals just Sharpen the Axe on EnterTalk Radio.
We'll see you in just a minute.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
This is Jackie Bertoni from Jackie's Groove. Come join me weekly on my journey through the music business as I take you behind the velvet rope, interviewing industry notables such as Al Di Meola, Michael McDonald, and Al Jarreau, to name but a few. Listen to their stories on being in the studios recording #1 hits and onto the stages throughout the globe. Allow me to be your music historian. You can hear me live every Monday at 2 p.m. and every Wednesday at 12 noon Pacific Standard Time or 24/7 on jackiesgroove.com. Ready to get your groove on?
Hi, I'm Tim Dolbear, the host of Sound Experience on EnterTalk Radio. Each week, I talk with top professional audio engineers, producers, musicians, and the manufacturers that make the tools that we use in the studio each and every day. From capturing the perfect take to mastering your final release, and the tools and how the pros use them, we are going to dive deep into their process and learn from their experience. I look forward to you joining us each week on Sound Experience with me, your host, Tim Dolbear.
Hey, it's Tracy Smith
and Beth Venus
of Girls Talk Rock right here on the EnterTalk Radio Network.
Every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific.
Okay, Beth, they know that, but we want you to know that the industry pro's choice is Silver Tiger Production.
STP is a full-service production agency offering sound, lighting, installations, talent buying, staffing, backline equipment rental, and sales. Kapow!
It's everything in the entertainment performance industry. It's all that. SilverTigerProduction.com.
Welcome to Sharpen the Axe. Explore the bleeding edge of guitar and bass gear. Discover a sound uniquely your own and cut through the noise. With your hosts, Eric Lucero and Paul Berezetsky.
All right, welcome back, guys, to the second half. Wanted to actually continue back from what we had the first half. We got 4 new ones with us, but with the loopers, 2 things I utilize a ton at home is when I'm dissatisfied with my pedal chain or particular settings, I just loop a riff and keep it on that Wally, on that looper going right at the front, and then tailor everything after it to what I want it to sound like. It's a very useful way, very easy way to start dialing in your sounds through your rig, through your pedal chain. And do credit where credit's due. I actually learned that watching Juan Alderete's Pedals and Effects. Shout out to him and Nick Reinhardt. So after seeing that, I started using that. Actually, that's where I got the suggestion for the Wally Looper as well. Started utilizing that to really shape out my rig, shape out my sound. But
meaning you have like a recorded sound on there that just sits in the pedal.
Yeah,
until your next gig or whatever.
No. Like when I'm at home. When I'm at home, just setting stuff up and trying to get my sound right, I just have the Wally at the very front and everything else behind it on. I just record a riff on it quick and keep it looping, and then I shape everything after and mark where I want to keep stuff at or where it's supposed to be. Not at a show. Yeah, it's when I'm setting myself up, and it's in that kind of experimenting, which is my start of trying out loopers. I found just leaving something cool going and then manipulating everything afterwards, like the way tabletop and noise artists work.
So you're not trying to play and mess around with dials at the same time. You just kind of have a riff going and
exactly, yeah.
Cool.
And then you can generate noise and have some fun after with your own samples and loops. Like I use the Ditto X4, so from TC Electronic, we have the little micro version here, and I can keep some riffs on there, something with it between the two. But to move on to what we have for this round, we have also from Hotone or Hot One, however,
Hot One.
Either way, the Grass Overdrive here, which is actually supposed to be based on a Dumble, which is legendary amps that cost as much as a house that were still are being made, maybe,
are they?
By Dumble ain't dead, as far as I know. Howard Alexander Dumble. They sell used for $85,000 up to one just sold for $159,000, I think.
$159,000?
Yeah.
Wow.
A Overland I think it was an Overland special up at Emerald City Guitars, which was pretty crazy.
I thought you were just messing around about the price of a house. That's
yeah. You can buy a Mercedes. At least what it costs to get a Dumble, a used one at that. As for getting a new one, I have no idea what to tell you. But it's very famous amps. Stevie Ray Vaughan was famous for using them. Santana uses one. Joe Bonamassa does now, and other people who have a fuck ton of money to spend on that. So this has that mid-range hump overdrive sound in there. Apparently, we're going to find out. Next
for
from
a lot less than $159,000.
Yes, yeah, exactly, yeah. Next after that, we have one of the newest from Mooer, the Liquid Phaser. I actually haven't gotten to play this one yet. It's got what looks to be 5 modes of phasing on there. You can choose your wave shape between triangle, sine, and square up there. A color control and speed control right here. After that, I think most people wind up starting on these.
I still have I have the DD5. the later version of that.
Oh yeah, now it's the DD7, I believe, but this one is stuck around and it's a classic.
Yep.
You can't argue with a Boss DD3 digital delay, and as the glitch head I am, one of the most basic ones is messing with the hold feature on this, which we'll do a little later. And at the end of the chain here, we have the standard Ditto looper from TC Electronics, a very popular, easy to use looper that I sell a ton of, and even I use on my main pedal board the Ditto X4, which is the grand big brother to this one. There's 4 or 5 different Dittos in the chain, or in the lineup. There we go. And for this, the Hotone Grass Overdrive is $79.99. The Mooer Liquid Phaser is $88. The Boss DD3 is $129, and the TC Electronics Ditto goes for $99.99. So these 4 pedals, $396.98 at Pitbull Audio. And you can always check us out online at www.pitbullaudio.com. If you're in the San Diego area, come on in, say hi, and we can try it out. We can try out pedal combinations like this. So let's start with the Grass Overdrive.
I'm very curious about it.
Right? And see how close it is to 89 or 100 whatever $1,000. Definitely not bad. What's your first impressions of the Grass here?
It's not as heavy as I thought it would be, but yeah, very mid-rangey, kind of. I guess a little tube screamery.
Yeah, which I mean, both a tube screamer has a mid-range bump that gives it its voice and presence, and ironically enough, Stevie Ray Vaughan, famous for using a mid-range overdrive, the TS-808 from Ibanez into a Dumble amp, which has its own unique voice, but there's something in that mid-range about it.
Didn't he have two tube screamers side by side?
Most of the time I've seen pictures of his little 4-pedal pedal board. It's just one, yeah. Okay. And another quick note, one of his guitar tech sold one, I think, to that same place, Emerald City Guitars, and it was a tube screamer used by Stevie Ray Vaughan going for like $11,000. So yeah, the hype is real in the market. But I mean, it's a pretty good sounding, a pretty killer little pedal. So I mean, they'll definitely cut through a mix. It'll definitely give your solos and your drive a just presence, I don't know, would you describe it as nasally, kind of that mid-range thing? I know I was playing that second part wrong, but oh well. But I mean, it's if you're going for that, not over gainy but bluesy sort of sound. This is a cool little pickup a cool little pedal for that amount. Now, because I'm not as familiar with this one, let's hop over and see what this this mower is all about.
Move on a bit with both this and the looper. I gotta say, I really dig the LED and the
in the back
and the level control here,
which is nice. You can see from above kind of where you're at, and because it's got the numbers on the side of that clear dial there. But Hotone is not a lot of people look at them, but for the compact, budget-friendly stuff, they got some cool things going. They're one of the few little budget companies that has like, Modver or like a bit crusher and other little side designs stuff in there. But Hotone, check them out at pitbullaudio.com.
What's the little?
Brightness switch.
Brightness.
So. So it's a very cool that bright switch. I like my stuff bright, sharp, and articulate. So that's a very cool option.
Yeah. Cool.
Now let's check out the liquid phaser. Yeah, these things are hot. I have no idea what the DC output is.
Does it have a drive?
Let me. Why does everything sound like it has a drive with you, Eric? Let me roll back the volume a little.
No, it sounds dope. I like it.
Yeah, how about you roll through that one while I'll just play the chord progression. Huh?
It's getting liquid.
Yeah. But yeah. There we are.
Reminded me of that U2 song.
That's right, yeah.
That's all I know of it. That's all.
This is something there. Ooh, some pulsing sort of vibey one.
What's the little toggle do again?
There's 3 wave shapes you can choose. So sine wave up top, triangle in the middle, and square wave at the bottom.
Gotcha.
So it's on square wave right now. Ooh.
So it's gonna be the most pronounced, probably.
Oh yeah.
So
I like it.
A different approach to a phaser than the Boss.
Yeah, the Boss still leans, the PH3 from Boss still leans towards a more classic sound that is more like milkshake thick, sort of very present. This is a little more transparency. Yeah, it's a little more modern. Oh, I kind of like that.
Yeah, but more transparent. Not so much of not so much not as top endy as some of the other ones. It's almost like the modulation is
like subtle and below.
Yeah, it's more at the low end. Like this doesn't sound like it thins out your tone.
But yeah, it's definitely got some cool sounds that are on the subtle side. It's not as wet as I'm used to compared to other phasers, so it's throwing me for a little bit of a loop.
But that's one of those things where it might actually be more useful if you're in a live situation. Like a lot of, I find with these kind of like trippy effects, they're really cool when you're messing around in the bedroom and then you do it, with giant bass rig and drums on stage and all that stuff gets lost.
Yeah.
So if it's, you got to respect it. If the effect is a little bit subtle, but your tone is still protected, I think that might be more usable in the real life scenario.
So you might actually have a winner with its subtlety with the Mooer Liquid right here.
Yeah.
Now it's definitely neat, definitely different. It's one I'm going to continue to explore at the store when I have some free time. Now if we move on, what can you say about a DD3? So many of us have had one, probably gone through several at different times. I
have the DD5. It's actually, I think it's my oldest pedal that I have.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think I've had that
Your
thing.
longest lasting.
Yeah, I think I've had it since like high school or something.
Yeah, they last. Like we said with the previous Boss, they're built like tanks and built to last for sure. You got a 50 millisecond short, 200 millisecond up to 800, but your usual stuff. Classic sound, always cool deal. The one thing that a lot of people seem to miss out on is the hold, which is the momentary function. So, here, just play like a quick stab. Now, the cool part is, holding it down, you kind of have that sort of glitch sort of thing. It's hard to do with it on.
So you got to have your foot on it?
Yeah, the momentary. But like, let me. Here, put your hand on it, and when I show you, 1, 2.
Oh, I was waiting for that.
Oh, no worries. 1, 2, 3.
I missed it.
Oh, you got to hold it. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Oh, wait, one more try. This is part of the learning curve with it. 1, 2, 3. Oops. Try it again. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. That's basically all. That's basically all you're aiming for there. Is you get a cool little glitch hold effect, where it's meant to kind of work like a. Like an electroharmonics freeze. Oh, whoop. But it's a kind of an underlooked usefulness of that. Now, real quick, since this is such a ubiquitous thing, most people know, we'll go to the Ditto Looper, which is nice and simple. It's once to record. Hit it again, it's playing, and then you can overdub from there. So how about we play something and then have you overdub it? 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you want to delete the previous one, hold it, back to the original. Now try a different overdub. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. that's an easy example of the usefulness of a looper for practicing. You can use it for performing, of course, as well. But
great for learning a solo. Lay down the chord progression and just go over it over and over.
Absolutely. And again, if this was placed at the very beginning and you were just starting to learn these pedals, like say the Grass and Overdrive for me and Paul here, you could, excuse me, have this at the beginning, play the riff that you want to sharpen up or learn to make stand out tonally, and then tweak from there. But erase the overdub. Up. Usually it lets you delete the original, but I mean, what are your thoughts on the effectiveness of these kind of little rigs? I mean,
I almost bought one of those Ditto pedals at one point where I was doing a bunch of kind of solo acoustic gigs where it would have gotten handy, and then the gig kind of disappeared, and I didn't end up getting one because I wasn't sure if I was gonna use it too much. But very cool for sure. I might have to pick one up at some point.
Yeah, and there's a variety out there, but I mean, TC Electronics and Hotone both build durable, meant to last products. They're great.
What's the length of time that you'll record per loop?
5 minutes. Including the overdubs on the Ditto, and it's 15 minutes on the Wally.
Okay, 5 minutes total of your loops, or each one?
I believe, 5 minutes total, including the overdubs on the Ditto right here. And they have other iterations, like the Ditto X2, which has some like half speed and a couple other effects on it.
That's the larger one?
Yeah, there's a mic version of that too, and the Ditto X4, which has basically like two of these Dittos individually in there, two separate 5-minute banks, a dedicated stop button, a decay control, and then a effects, 6 or 7 onboard effects with their dedicated button there, which I think is just the bee's knees. I love that thing. But it's very easy to build these quick little rigs that you can explore and have fun with. And even you were saying before we started that you might go to a small micro rig like this.
Yeah, okay, I kind of want to go that way. So actually, I don't know if you guys can see this. This thing right here is the case that has my pedal board in it.
Oh, it is this? Oh, wow.
It's actually
this is the one.
Here, yeah.
Oh, wow.
I'll just throw it up there. And so yeah, it's not ginormous, but it's not tiny either.
Right, and I mean, I've seen people who can put, in a little tiny gig bag, a little pedal tray nano board and just run with it. It's a pretty neat thing. And I mean, you could fit like 4 to 6 of ones of these size across, 3 or 4 of them with a couple boss size or MXR sized enclosures. Mm-hmm. But I mean, it almost is one of those things where I want to have a spare power supply and a pedal tray nano or a Temple Audio, the smaller of the Temple Audio boards, just to load something up that's different instead of my main spaceship board.
Right.
And just have some fun with something that's more compact.
Spaceship board. You got to bring that thing in one time.
One of these, you know what? We do bring personal gear. The Wally is mine. This is mine. But yeah, we should bring in our personal boards one day and go over them.
Yeah. Mine's right in here.
You just knock it right open and it's right in there. Anything else you wanted to try or check out on any of these in particular?
Let me try the drive with the delay. Just
sure, yeah. Any particular way you want to set a short, medium, long delay? Anything?
Medium well.
Medium well. Let's see what... I can't help but do that to every delay.
I really feel naked without the DD5. I gotta have it, even if it's like a little subtle thing. Even if it's not like a very obvious express delay. I just need that. I almost just like them kind of like a reverber instead of a reverb.
Really? So you like let's try a short delay.
No, I don't. It's not necessarily.
Oh.
I don't use it like a reverb, but like I would rather have a little delay than reverb, or like I could have reverb really, really low or barely there and just a little bit, just to give it ambience. Like,
So
I don't need like a long trail necessarily, but
just enough to fatten it up and give it a little bit of atmosphere.
yeah, I just don't normally like going super dry with it.
There's definitely plenty of cool sounds available just by messing around with these.
Out of time. Before we go, I just want to say we're going to take next week off. We're going to Summer NAMM in Nashville. So we're going to take a week off. After we come back, though, we're planning on doing something kind of cool.
Yeah. Shall we reveal it now? Or
a little teaser, sure.
Yeah, little teaser. So we're going to do a little bit more of an educational focus for a couple episodes. We're going to bring in Sean Hutchinson's of Hutch & Sons Guitar Repair, who is our resident repair tech at Pitbull Audio. And we're going to start with just some basic maintenance tips and a couple easy upgrades that don't break the bank, that will improve your instruments, tuning stability, and maybe an upgrade in pickups or hardware. Mm-hmm. We'll have Sean as our guest time after next.
Yeah, looking forward to that.
For sure. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm Eric Lucero.
And I'm Paul Berzowski.
Of Sharpen the Axe on EnterTalk Radio, powered by Pitbull Audio. Thank you very much, guys.